Hey, this is Adrian Gomez with 212 Athlete. Thanks for being a part of the camp and just trying to get these measurements to you. So out of the back leg, you're sitting at about 93 degrees, which is really good. You're back into the hip hinge, the knees inside, and you're able to push really well. Your heels rotating back into the right position, which is what we want. So really happy with the lower half right now. Let's measure your angle, about 110 degrees, which is fabulous. Let's look at your front knee. (132 degrees). Let's watch it as it goes through. As you release the ball, it actually comes back and it retracts, which is what we want. So I like the way that your front leg sits. Your knee actually plants pretty well. It's not internally rotated, and the way that you plant your foot is pretty conducive to stopping. So that's good. Your lower half, I have really no complaints, honestly. Looking really good. So let's look at your posture at ball release. Your posture at ball release is what we call, I'd like to say, about a B. An A would be straight up and down. A B would be 26 degrees. And let's see here. A C would be even further. But I'd like to say you're a B. So what that means is your head is going to go from here at the starting point, top of the leg lift, to there. So I want to minimize this as much as possible. I want to minimize that head movement. So if you can bring this chest back just a tad, I would say about 3 or 4 degrees, you're going to be able to minimize that head movement. So just be aware of that. That's something. And also, like, out of that release point, that's your arm slot. So I'm not going to change that, and I want to make sure that we're doing drills around that arm slot and not being so changeable. So at release point, you're past your front foot, which is what we want. I think you could go even further with your chest, but we're going to measure that later. But I would say it's close to a late launch, but pretty good. So, all right, let's look at stacking. So stacking out of the back leg, my back knee is inside, but your upper body isn't stacking. So you're not staying back as long as you could. So this upper body, this head, stays over that front, over that rubber, and you can see your head doesn't stay. It just continues to go forward, which is fine, which means you're going to throw with more of your arm. I want to avoid that as much as possible. You're doing really good here where you're leading with your butt, your upper body's back, but then instantly you start coming up. So that's stacking. I really want you to work on that upper body stacking back. Your lower half's great. So your upper body stacking, that's definitely one weakness you have. Rotating into this, see here. Let's look at your front glove. Your front glove stops. So it's firm, but it stops here and it doesn't continue to pull through. Some people use the term pull, but I want the shoulder blade or the scapula pinched for a longer period of time, and when that pinches, it creates a greater rotation in the upper body, and so you're missing that. So your front glove needs to pinch at a little bit higher into that scapula, and once that scapula is pinched, that throwing side is going to come around way better. It's just that leverage that you're going to create with that front glove. So front glove needs to work. Needs more work. Let's look at your chest. Okay, looking at, let's see here. off of that elbow. The elbow's a little bit raised. Okay, I want to say about 4 degrees. And let's look right here. The elbow's quite high. I'd like the elbow to sit just a little bit further down. And that's what that's going to do. Is it's going to allow the scapula to be able to be more strong into there, so you're able to throw with your body and not with your arms so much. So you do have an elevated distal humerus, which is not, it's not going to be problematic right now, but you are elevated a little bit, and I want you to watch that and be careful of that. So so you do have a high elbow, so that's an issue as well. Okay, the last thing we're going to talk about, two more things, is the chest extension, which I believe, just based off of what I'm looking at right now, you're a really good chest drive over that front leg. You're doing a great job. So that's not an issue. And this is maximum layback of the arm. And from here, what I'd like to see is, I'd like to see you plow through with that chest, and you actually do a pretty good job of that. So I wouldn't say you have a huge arm fly out, but the big takeaways are, number one, you need to stack with your upper body. Number two, your front glove. Number three, see here. Number three is your elevated distal humerus, so you have a high elbow there. So it's a little bit of the upper body that we need to work on. Your lower body is really good and set up right. So you're going to benefit from the bands. You're also going to benefit from the weighted balls as well. That's where you're going to get the strength, and then we're going to get 3 or 4 things from the weaknesses that I just diagnosed. So all of these correlate to the things online, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks so much.